Hi everyone, welcome back to the GESL. I'm megumixbear, and I'm here joined by Nick, who is better known as Axslav. So, any words to the stream watching you?
Oh, thank you guys for watching the tournament, supporting me. It's been fun, and I'm sorry I'm out now, but I'll try harder the next tournaments to do well.
So you had a game today, and he said he's out. So who did you play against, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, I went up against Inori this morning,
Oh, tough.
and yeah, I lost 0-2. I got here like 40 minutes later than I planned to. I think he got here late too, so both of us, it was kind of, our first games of the day, and it was definitely affecting both of us. It wasn't like it was unfair. It was pretty fair, but I was just playing, I made a lot of sloppy mistakes that, I'm actually known for doing those sometimes, but not as bad as these games were, so it wasn't the best series by any means.
So, Inori, he's a protest player, so PvP. What do you think about people saying, like, PvP takes no skill, it's all luck? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think that's true at all. I mean, I don't want to get the curse that Oz did when Oz went out and said that. Then he started losing. He said,
Yeah.
"No, I'm never gonna lose PvP. It's all skill." Then he started losing everything. But no, I don't think there's. I think there's almost no luck at all. I actually feel there's. It's one of the most totally skill-based matchups because there's so many openings you can do where there's nowhere you can get too far behind. And it's so positional. It is a matchup. A lot of people mistake for luck is that it's so easy to lose from a single mistake. So
okay.
it's almost you can have a better player be upset very easily because whoever makes the first mistake loses. And a better
That's
player.
why you get those coin flips and people saying all those things,
Exactly.
right?
They say that because a better player, while they may make less mistakes on average, they still can make the first mistake. And unlike TVT, you make a mistake early. And you're a little bit behind, but then you can come back because you're better. Exactly. PvP, there's usually no coming back. So I think it's totally skill-based, but it is easier to get an upset in that matchup.
So you would argue that maybe PvP is one of the higher skill-based matchups?
I think so, definitely. I mean, I think almost all the matchups are. I think there's
Of
almost
course,
no luck
yeah.
at all. Some people say that, but there's a couple situations, but PvP doesn't have any more than any other matchup.
So when people complain, that's just total build order loss. I feel like, a lot of the lower leagues will always just complain, build order loss, coin flip. You don't really agree with that.
No, I mean,
Okay.
sometimes people have build order losses, but it's because their build just isn't good at the lower leagues. Like,
Okay.
but
okay.
if you see a top player, they're never going to get a build order loss because their builds are always going to be.
Okay, so it'd be
solid
on
build.
skill. It's not because it's not going to
Exactly.
be simplified where like that's just a build order loss
No.
at the pro level.
No, there isn't.
Okay, nice clarification.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. So, what do you think is your strongest matchup right now?
PvP normally is.
Okay.
Sometimes I struggle with in tournaments because often, I'm a player that I need to get a lot of warm-up games in and I need to warm up. And sometimes tournaments, you don't get that situation. And PvP, especially, like I said earlier, you can just instantly lose from making the first mistake. So it's,
Sure.
I think for me, it's my strongest matchup normally in practice. I do exceptionally well. But then in tournaments, I often will just do something like I'll miss a force field. I'll do something that causes me to lose the game, just some sloppy mistake early. And so that's something I need to work on is just solidify my play a little bit. But overall, it's definitely my best matchup.
I'm just going to take this time to say that really Nick is one of the hardest working players. I'm not just saying this because he's my friend or like he paid me on the side. He's like, yeah, just do this. No. Honestly, he is always practicing. And I always, I follow your Twitter and you're always always practicing and you're not playing other games or being distracted. And I'm not saying that's bad, pro players or what have you, they have the right to have fun and take a break too, because they're working hard. Everybody's doing their due diligence, but I feel like I never see you really just playing other games. You're always, on Starcraft whenever you have that chance. You're always, on online tournaments as well, and so I just want to say, really good job on that.
Thank you.
Also, your team manager,
Yeah.
Jingna, I love her.
Yeah.
She's awesome. So, what is your take on like having a female like team manager or owner?
I mean, I don't think there's any pluses or minuses to it. Like some people say, like, oh, they don't understand the scene as well because
I hear
they're
that
a female, and they're like, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it is true that there's almost no like competitive female players, but there's a lot of reasons for that, and there's no reason why they can't be in the scene, they can't be involved. There's no reason why she's inherently worse at it. I think she's a great owner, and she does a great job.
Yeah, she does a great job. She's always tweeting about it, supporting you guys too. And even at not BlizzCon, I'm sorry. I saw it's because we saw that Kerrigan thing. I got confused with BlizzCon. But at MLG Anaheim, she was there and supports you. And is that often that she, takes that time to make those trips because, she's from Singapore?
Yeah, I think she's actually made every single MLG. So she really loves MLG. She loves the crowds. Sure. She loves being with the team, and yeah, she's very supportive.
And amongst your team, not just having, your team manager be supportive and owner, do you mostly practice with your teammates or outside, or how would you practice?
I practice a good amount with my teammates, but I also practice a lot outside of that. Almost all my team is still in school. They're in high school or college, so a lot of times they play in the morning and they're not on. So I have a lot of practice partners from Europe and North America, so I've been getting a little more into ladder lately. There was a while where I felt it wasn't very good, but now I'm kind of deciding that I think it's not bad practice at all. You see a lot of players like Stefano. I mean, that's his main practice method, and he's super. I mean, he's amazing, right? So a lot of people say like, oh, you can't practice on ladder, but I think it works out okay. So I've been starting to do a little more of that, but then also I've just whoever I can see on Skype, I hit up for some games.
Do you think ladder is good in the sense that it gives you a variety? Because, sometimes you get used to your practice player and, we start to have some habits or what we tend to do, we're more comfortable doing macro game or a timing push early. But when you play ladder, sometimes you get that cheese or people who just want to take down a pro gamer name, for example. So do you think that gives you that advantage of just having all those variables on ladder?
It definitely does. There's a lot of people who they'll practice a build so many times with like 2 or 3 of their teammates in that race. And then they'll get the build where they think it's really solid, but really there's like 3, 4, 5 holes in the build. And their teammates, just the way they're playing, aren't exploiting those holes. So, it's great to have the teammates to really grind out a certain build or something, but then you also want to take that build to a big variety of a player pool where if there's any little hole in it, you're going to run up against someone who'll exploit it sooner or later.
Do you see this? If you want to get good, you have to really practice and do your diligence. So how much do you practice every day?
It really depends month by month. Like the last couple of weeks I've been slacking a little bit, but I still usually put in at least 6 to 8 hours.
6 to 8 hours.
And before that I was doing more closer to 10. So, it really depends on how much coaching I'm doing, how many things I have, work on the side. So, but it's I pretty much average probably about 50 to 60 hours a week typically.
So, most players, they play and they ladder, and you said they do custom games, and they also watch replays to practice. But do you think in any way, you mentioned coaching, that when you're coaching people, do you think that helps yourself play better? Just remember those things that you're telling them, or how does that affect you?
It really depends. I mean, it's similar. I actually had a lot of jobs tutoring math as well, and if you're coaching or teaching at some level that's far below where you're at, it doesn't really help you that much. But even if you're coaching level that's significantly below, like they're a player you would never lose to, or but if they're at the point where they're learning strategical or tactical or like a little more subtleties of the game, it actually helps a lot because there's a lot of things players do and they don't know why they're doing them. I've actually talked to a lot of top players, watching games, and they're like, oh, this thing is bad. And I'm like, why is it bad? And they're like, I don't know, it just is. And so if you can figure out the reasons why you think certain things are good and bad, then you can take that knowledge not just to that situation, but you can extrapolate to other situations. It'll make you a better player overall.
I feel that way too. Sometimes when you're teaching someone, you're learning as well. So that's a really good point. So where can we get this coaching from you? Where can we follow? Where can we support you?
Okay, so you can catch my stream at twitch.tv/Axslav. I last couple weeks I haven't been streaming because I've been down in LA area. But I'm definitely going to get back to that as soon as I get back home. You can follow me Twitter, @ISAxslav. And if you just tweet at me or ask on my stream, there's a message about how to get coaching.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Nick. So we are going to welcome back, or I'm going to say, we'll tune back in for more StarCraft awesomeness, and we're out.